Good evening, everyone. I recently found that no matter how much I studied for a test, I continued to receive poor grades. It wasn't that I did not read the material or the chapters that was covered. We are taught from grade school that homework is meant to give us practice and a better understanding of the material. I could retain the information as long as I was taking notes or when we discussed the topics in class, but from the chapters flew right out of the window. I spent grueling hours transcribing from the chapters, staring blankly at my test. It's, I knew the correct answers to was worded slightly different. Two of the four answer choices would be so close that I would have a hard time choosing the correct one. Sometimes there will be questions on the test that I didn't even remember reading. How many of you have found this to be the case? If discouraging, I know. That's why I feel that you should change the way you currently take notes. According to the Secrets of Success for students and an academic coaching and workshop that's offered in the Bay Area for teens and has an online webpage, inadequate notes either include too much or too little information. Too much information occurs because students have the tendency to write notes verbatim. As a result, the student experiences a borrowed term I like to use, information overload. Not only does writing verbatim defeat the purpose of taking notes by not allowing you to conceptualize what you have read and put the material into your own words, but it causes you to try and remember unnecessary information. Notes that are too detailed or have too much information also make it difficult to recall where information was written. This could pose a problem when it makes it difficult to recall where information was written. This could pose a problem when you're trying to review and need reference material quickly. I found that too little information occurs when chapters are very large or deals with complex subjects. Long chapters are time consuming and, let's face it, boring. As a result, pertinent information gets left out of the notes because now instead of reading the chapter all the way through, we're likely to skim through what we think is important. When this happens, we are likely to skim through what we think is important, like graphs, charts, concept boxes, they get ignored. Numerous research suggests that inadequate note-taking is a result of poor outlining format. I can personally agree with this finding. When notes fail to follow a consistent format, they act as a filibuster. When a filibuster takes the floor in the House of the Senate or Representatives, essentially what they do is repeat what's already been said in what seems like 100 different ways. And oftentimes they include information that has nothing to do with or what is being discussed. The lack of information outlining also prohibits the opportunity to break a paragraph or sections of a chapter down into subpoints, thus not allowing the note taker to see how smaller pieces of information relate to you, does not allow the note taker to see how smaller pieces of information relate to larger concepts, thus impeding retention of information. So I ask you, are you tired of staying up all night, taking note after note, only to find that you can't approach or can't remember any of the notes that you have tirelessly wrote? I have a quick and effective approach to note taking that will help improve your future test scores. There are 5 easy steps. First, before you begin reading, read the objective on the first page of the chapter. This will help you to know what information you're expected to learn from the chapter. Next, page through the chapter taking into account how long the chapter is and whether the subtitles are that corresponds into account how long the chapter is and where the subtitles are they correspond to that learning objective. By finding the subtitles, you are sure not to miss any of the important objectives. And knowing how many pages are in a chapter acts similar to reverse psychology, especially with long chapters. As I complete each objective, it seems as if I've gone through 5-10 pages in a relatively short period of time. The third step is more of a mental check and is usually combined with step number 4. Give your outline format some thought. Rather than simply using bullets to list points, divide each subtitle into 3 questions. Step number 4. Step 4, now I'm ready to begin reading and note-taking, but I ask myself 3 important questions. What is the topic of the paragraph or the subtitle? There is a graph or chart present that can summarize the pertinent details for me, and is there any examples of any concepts, and ensure that I don't overload on information or write too little information. And they can usually be found by reading the first few sentences of the paragraph, then by skimming subsequent sentences and reading the conclusions of the paragraph. The final step consists of reading the summary page at the end of the chapter. By doing so, you will ensure that no important details were omitted, and again, no learning objectives were missed. If a better score is what you're looking for, this is a fast and sure way to help you find that score that you always wanted. Thank you. My name is Harold Hagney, and thank you for your time.